Hello, everybody. It is Friday, August 29th, 2025, and welcome to the Coco Show. How is everybody doing? I see you guys trickling in into the comments. Hey, Guinness girl, how you doing, girl? Hey, Coco, I put all. She always hops in. Thank you for hopping in. I see that you have errands to do, but thank you, homegirl, for hopping in. Sparkling light, hearts back at ya. Before we hop into, oh my gosh, did you been? Where you've been? It's been a long time, sunshine. We've been missing you. I know that you've been on the other shows, but I've been missing you here. How you been? Before we hop into it, y'all know the drill. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the Beyond Mystic Rumble channel. We post shows every single day, Monday to Sunday, all for you guys. And if you are more of a YouTube lover, I got you, boo boo. Jean Claude Beyond Mystic 003. Watch there as well. We post shows Monday to Sunday, all day, every day. Very amazing content, and we have more shows coming in for fall. Y'all keeping me busy here at Beyond Mystic. All of y'all watching are keeping me very busy, and the whole team. And before we hop into the show, don't forget there's an amazing promo, the Starseed Crystal Collection. I know it's almost sold out. Meg sent me a text message, and they're like, pretty much almost sold out. So if you have time to snag something there and use the promo code Beyond Mystic for 10% off, now is your time. And double your energy powers with amazing pyramids from my dear friend Carl at Ascension Organites. You shop $100 and more, and you get a free amazing pyramid from her. Voila! Now, y'all not going to be just stuck with me today. It's not only me today. I got a special guest. Y'all saw it on the poster. And I was having a chit chat with this person backstage, beginning of this week. We're working and stuff. And I'm like, oh my gosh, why don't I invite you at my show? Duh. See y'all, because I'm in my detox journey of eating clean and I don't drink coffee anymore. So I'm forgetting things. But I'm so happy to invite this amazing person that I've met for the first time. It was during in person at the Beyond Mystic conference, and I'm pretty sure many of you guys didn't meet her there. For those who were there at the Beyond Mystic conference in Ottawa, so the one and the only Kristal. How
Oh,
you doing, home girl?
hey. I'm so grateful to be here.
I'm so happy. I am
Yeah,
so happy. Thank
I'm
you.
like, I'm fangirling a little bit too.
This is
Right away,
so.
just because it's you.
Oh, thank you. Look at that, Coco and Company. That's a good one. I
Yeah.
should put that in the title of the show. That's a good one. How you've been? How's life? How's everything?
Life is full. Life is full. It's beautiful, it's beautiful. And I get that sometimes, in life, it's not always like that. Sometimes it's really
Mhm.
hard. Sometimes it's a big push. But right now, a lot of that push has been really worth it. It's showing up,
Right?
right?
For those who don't know, Kristal just joined the Beyond Mystic team,
Mm.
and she is the daughter of Ashala, the amazing Ashala at the Beyond Mystic team as well. So let's start from the beginning. Where are you from? Born and raised?
Oh gosh.
Just that. Let's start from there. Don't need to be specific of the city and the little town. And
No,
like,
I
where
would
are
like
you
to be
born and raised?
specific,
Okay.
but okay. I was born in Edmonton, Alberta.
Okay.
Yeah, Alberta girl, raised for many years in Calgary as well. And but honestly, uh, adventurous, exploratory gypsy mother that I've had. We moved every 2 to 3 years of my life to many different places in Canada. Um, so I've lived in the Kootenays, and as many of you might know, we're on Vancouver Island right now, and yeah, so many places. So born, yes, raised a lot of,
All over Canada.
yeah,
Although,
yeah.
oh my gosh, that's
And
so
the only
cool.
way I can keep track of it is I know where I went to school. I went to Waldorf
Okay.
school for my whole upbringing. I don't know if any of you or many of you might know about Waldorf, but My mom really pushed to have me and my sister put through Waldorf education, Rudolf Steiner, anthroposophy. So I can keep track of where I lived based on the Waldorf schools I went to and for what years I went to them.
Oh, I
Yeah.
didn't know you had a sister. She's older or younger?
She's younger,
Okay.
13 years younger.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, we have some of her. She makes incredible wire wrapped jewelry that we were wearing at the conference, and we have that on our site as well. That we,
Oh,
she's incredible. She's like my favorite human.
well, that's good. And okay, let's go into the crunch of it.
Okay, crunch me.
When you started questioning this matrix that we're living in, yeah, at what age did you started to be like, hey, wait a minute, what is all of this? Or did you feel any energies when you were younger of like, hey, I'm not
Yeah.
moving the same way. You know what I mean?
Oh, I was always different.
Right? Same.
But I don't know. I feel like it came innately to me. I always kind of thought that I wasn't really spiritual. I always said to mom, you're the
Mm.
spiritual one. And she was like, girl, you've been more spiritual than me since you came out of me. Like, you teach me about spirituality. And I feel like, right? Thank you. I feel like I've always just had a more earthly kind of indigenous approach to spirituality. I just have always been um, less concerned with the matrix and more focused on the interpersonal connections with people. I've always been drawn to uh, just curiosity about all different types of people, and that every single one of them has a full story, and every
Mm.
single one of them is here to make our world go round. I
Yeah.
didn't start learning about matrix things until I was older,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. But you still started at a young age, like you said, like your mom was like, you were literally super spiritual the moment you stepped out into the world.
Yeah, I was
Hmm.
always just kind of a wild earth child. Actually, what blew her mind was that she thought she was going to have this, hippie flower girl,
Yes.
down to earth. And I came out
Yes.
and I was like, what kind of car is that? And she's like, that's a sports car. And I was like, I want a red convertible sports car and I want to be a cop. And I was like,
No way.
I was like, I want money. And she's
Wow.
like, who
So do
are
you okay, then do you remember your first woo moment? That you're like, okay, this is it. Okay, I'm gonna stop lying to myself that I want to be a cop or whatever. And I'm not nothing against cops. If we have police officers watching for with us, kudos to you. What's up? But yeah,
Absolutely,
when was your like
absolutely.
woo
Um,
moment that you remember?
I feel like, there's been many. I mean, I've had some, like, kind of existential experiences. I had definitely some sort of an exorcism kind of experience when I was quite young. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, like, I woke up one night and my bed was vibrating and I couldn't talk, and there was, like, a light that flashed in the corner of my window and flew out the window in the corner of my room. It flew out the window, and this voice talked to me and was like, yeah. Anyhow, so things like that. But I mean, even then, like mom had like smudged the house, and like it was like there was always an essence of spirituality where we lived. So it wasn't like I ever really like had this like moment. But there's
Mm,
been things that have trickled in where I'm like, you think something and then something will happen and you'll go like, I knew that was going to happen, you know? And so that's where I would say was just like starting to notice, listening to my intuition,
yeah.
you know? And I'm like, Mom, I knew that was going to happen. She's like, that's your intuition, honey. Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So then
And
that's where things started going.
how were you when you were at that young age and seeing yourself grow up? and being in it with your friends at school? How did you see, was there any difference, or for you it was just all natural? Because if I think of when I was young, and I shared that many times on interviews with Jean Claude, on my show, that I remember that because my mother is from the Philippines and my
Mhm,
father's from Haiti. And
mhm.
my Filipino side, they were very spiritual. And I, like, my parents, my Asian mom would never she wouldn't explain. It was like natural. They would just, people would come around our house from the Filipino community, just knock on the door. My grandparents would feed them, and they would come and ask for a healing treatment from my grandfather. So our
Wow.
living room was filled with candles, with potions. I don't know, like all of these things he would build, and he would have this candle, this big candle, and it was it was literally a face of an old man, and it was green, huge candle, and he would put all of the oil on his hands and literally put his hand in the fire, and it wouldn't burn. And I would just be there sitting there eating my Filipino food and look at people crying because they were getting healed. They would get these like energy massages from him, and they would just start crying because they could now move their shoulders, move their legs. And I was like, what am I living? Like, but nobody would explain. It was just like natural. Like, okay, this is our life. So then I would go back to school, and I would need to act the school way, like
Yeah.
the system. And then I would go back home, and people are there eating that I've never met before, and they're like waiting to get healed. And that was my life. So I'm wondering, how was your childhood when it came to that?
Thank you for sharing that. I hadn't heard that before. I
It was,
that's incredible.
yeah, it was.
Yeah.
When I think about it now, I'm like, holy moly! Like my
I'm
mother
like,
would never.
I need some of that in my life.
Right? And when I talked to my mom about it, she's like, "Oh, but you never asked, so I never did. It was our life." I'm like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
but like now I'm wondering like who taught my grandfather?" And he's like, "Oh, that was your grandmother. And who taught her?" And I'm like, "Okay, now I'm digging into the Asian history of my family,
Yeah.
know where it all come from, because now I'm here and I'm there channeling messages to people around me, my friends, whatever." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, it all came from that route." So yeah, how did
Absolutely.
your evolution went through when you were a child?
Um, well, I mean, I feel like going to a Waldorf school, I didn't really have to go out of the spiritual realm because it's so, I mean, anthroposophy is very alternatively based. And,
Mm.
like you build altars and like communicate. I don't know. There's like fairies and magical animals, and everything is magical in Waldorf. So it was like I was definitely in it in school as well, to the point that if you say that you're a Waldorfian, everybody's like, oh yeah, that makes sense now. That's
Really?
why you're weird like that or like different, and so it creates that sort of individual. And I feel like so I had it very much was my whole container of my life. But we
Mhm.
moved around so much that it was like everything else outside of that kind of felt off. And when I went into grade 9, when I went into high school, that's when it hit me. Like I had,
Okay.
my like I was a raver. I had my fat pants and my fuzzy coat, my candy jewelry and my fuzzy slippers and my big fake eyelashes. And I was just like walking down the halls, and they hated me. They were like, who the hell is this? You know? And
Really?
I just always wanted to be different. I didn't want to be like all of the other people, all the other girls. And so I think that's also what helped me to really be able to identify with so many, because especially a lot of the underdogs, I was just kind of like, yeah, we're all kind of different and kind of cool together, you
Wow.
know? Yeah.
That was your whole high school, that you were in that mindset of like, okay, I know that I'm different and I'm going to express myself and
You
to have
know,
that.
whole high school, I went to school until about the middle of grade 10. I skipped most of the beginning of grade 10, and
Mhm.
then mom went to astrologer in Nelson, and the astrologer was like, this is one of the hardest times of Kristal's lives, and anything that's causing her stress, like try to remove it as much as possible. So my mom pulled me out of school, and I started working, and at 16, I actually went and got I went to become a makeup artist. 16,
Wow.
I dropped out of school and went to makeup school and became a freelance makeup artist. And yeah, because it was just not, I just wasn't, I couldn't learn the way that they tried to teach me, you know?
Oh, I
Yeah.
understand.
Too
I like,
creative, too.
okay. Now I want to dive deep in the more personal side
Tell
because
me.
I totally relate with what you're saying that you couldn't learn the way that they were teaching us. I felt the same way, and I know that my child is feeling the same way.
Yeah.
And when she comes back home and she sees me with all of you guys and living my spiritual journey, and she's all for it. She's their mom. Give me the soda, Palo Santo. She is living her best life with her hair going all over the place. I'm like, just go and take a shower, please. Like I'm there. That's what she's
I know.
10, and that's what I'm giving you. So everybody at home, if that's what you're going through, trust and believe you're not alone.
Yeah.
At least she's enjoying it and she's super into it. She's super open.
Yeah.
What did your mother offered you, like what is the memory that you have of your mom offering you, like how did she support you? That's the question. Like how did you feel the support, or now like at your age, how do you see it today, how your mother supported you? Because I'm going to take that information and I'm going to run with it, because that's, I want to like share
Yeah.
that kind of bond with my daughter, you know what I mean? And I'm
Yeah.
learning. So
Hmm. I feel like, oh, I mean, that kind of thing is so layered, but I feel like some of the biggest ways that she supported me was always really encouraging me to be me, and like, just like don't shut me out. We're in this together. We'll figure it out. And I mean, we were kind of learning together. She had me young and she was growing herself, and we were going to make mistakes, and she had her own drama and everything going on and trying to figure it out and trying to survive. We were in
wow.
survival so much, so I feel like so much of it was just like, if you're ever struggling or you're ever in trouble, if you're out or something, then just call me. And it was just like, I think just not having judgment for me being where I was, and like messy, or so the other thing though that I will say is that she, when I was quite young, 2 or 3 or something, I would run roughshod over her like I was just a feral little thing. And she had some wise elders that kind of took her under their wing and was like, we need to teach you about boundaries and consequences. And so she started me young with boundaries and consequences in a really like supportive, like, sensical way. And so I always knew that if she was like, made a boundary or had a request or something like that, there didn't need to be a big fight about it. Because I knew that if she was enforcing something, that it was like to be kind of respected.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So that started quite young. And then other than that, she was really open to me finding my path, and like, oh, the things I put her through.
Word.
Yeah.
Oh no. This is so
The things I put her through, you know,
good.
and we learned it all together. And I'm sure you must feel like that too. Like you're learning from your daughter, right?
Every day, and sometimes like I catch myself because I feel like overwhelmed. Just being a mom, I get over like you get overwhelmed sometimes, and I
Yeah.
catch myself being too like turned up. Like I'm like, oh, and I'm feisty, and I'm like, okay, no, like calm down. She's just a kid, but like I feel that she's such an old soul, just by her way of
Yeah.
being and the energy that I'm feeling. So
Mhm.
I have like these like communications with her like she's an adult, but I'm like, no, she's only 10. Like bring it
Yeah.
down a notch, but like I feel it in my core that she's like this little old soul. So I find it difficult as well. Just being, it's a hard freaking job. Like nobody
Yeah.
freaking tells you. It is
Oh, I don't know. I think
really,
people tell you. I think you just don't listen.
yeah, maybe no, that's
I
not.
think you're like, "I wouldn't be like that. That's not gonna happen to me. That's not my kid," like, "I'm gonna have an angel child because 'cause I'm a good person," or something.
Oh, honey. Mm-mm. Oh,
No?
I knew the moment that I was pregnant for sure she was going to be a mini me. For sure.
Ah,
Like I was not like that kind of a parent of like, oh my God, it's gonna be fantastic. No, I was like, she's gonna put me through hell because she's gonna be a mini me. So if ever one day you'll see her and you'll be like, okay, yeah, she's just paler than me, but she is literally
yeah.
me,
Oh,
shorter and like I like the attitude, the feistiness. Yeah, it's this.
beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
And
It
so and so in a way, right, that's what I was saying is that you're learning how to work with yourself again. You're learning how to honor those parts of you that were like that when you were a little girl that like,
yes.
maybe didn't get met in the same way that you maybe needed. So you can look at her like the little parts of you and be like, what would I have needed when I was that age going through this or, you know, right?
Honey, you just
Yeah.
dropped the mic. You are damn girl. Yeah. You know what? Let's do it. Let's go into it. Let's start with this.
Okay.
Tell us, how was your first experience for your new show, the Beyond Karma show? It was this week. You had a special guest. It was Jean-Claude. How did you feel?
Mm,
How did you flow through this new show? Y'all tune into this show, but we're gonna talk about it. How was it?
thank you. Um, I was nervous.
Yeah, I understand.
I mean, it was with JC. I don't know. And my first show, I mean, my mom was watching it after because she was on a session during it and she was watching it after and she was just laughing. She's like, "Oh my gosh, Kristal, I like your facial expressions and like you're so enthusiastic." And I was like, "I know, I was excited." So we were just laughing. So it was beautiful. I'm really, really grateful to be here and excited for the show. I'm excited for like us to come together as a community and for us all to bring out the depth and the potency in each other that is, that kind of only gets to come out to its fullest in certain platforms like this where we get to really
Mm.
like be real and go deep and
Mhm.
maybe even push some buttons. I had some comments afterwards, and I was like, "Thank you for that perspective, and you're heard, and I'm here for all of it."
Wow.
Yeah, because your truths are
Wow.
your truths. I'm not
Mhm.
here to tell you that my truths are meant to be yours. We're learning this all together,
Wow.
right?
Yeah.
Mm.
And do you wanna just tell to the audience that didn't have the chance to watch it, or you could watch it on repeat on our Rumble and on YouTube, what is going to be your main focus for your weekly show?
Yeah. Um, well, I mean, when it was first brought to me, I had said I would be willing. I was a little nervous to host a show, but I was like, I'd be willing to like answer personal questions for people, So I do that. I invite anybody to come on and ask whatever they feel is up for them in life, and I'll do cards on it. And so that was kind of going to be the original premise of the show. And then it was like, it's called Beyond Karma. And JC explained it so beautifully at the beginning of the show if you rewatch that. But it's a chance for us to really explore what this term karma is and what it's all about. How is it interweaving in our lives? How can we work with it? How can we honor it? How can we transmute these karmic dynamics into something that is serving us and serving the greater good, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So we're going to talk about that, and we're going to talk about, Digi being here. Karma isn't just a bitch, right? Like it's like,
Right.
yeah,
Mhm.
karma is one of those things that is, um, it's our higher self too. It's our internal navigation system. It's the messenger that says, well done, or something is here to be upgraded, and so I don't profess to be an expert on karma,
Yeah.
and yet um, anybody that has lived a full life, especially a life with awareness, can speak to karma in some way or another. And so I'm here to have these conversations and to start learning from each other on what karma is to you, and can we look deeper into it with something like the cards, right?
Mhm.
And then lastly, I also just like right, a week or so before was like, what if we make it a good news show? I would love to celebrate the wins, especially from the mind space and the heart space of our community, like the wins that we really see going on out there, and not just like in the greater world, but also in our communities world. Like, is there something that is, that you can share that's going on in your community where you've seen somebody make a difference, or you've seen a group make a difference, or you're part of something that's really, you know, activating the new paradigm, or creating parallel systems? Let's start sharing those wins with each other so that we can see that, and so that we can also share with those of the world and our families and stuff that are still waking up or yet to wake up, that this isn't just a scary, it's not all scary.
Yeah.
There's somewhere where you could, maybe my show is the show that you could start on Beyond Mystic with, or you, right, where we
Mhm.
start, like, watch the good things that come out of
Yeah,
all this information
exactly.
I'm sharing with you,
Yeah. 'Cause if
right?
you I totally agree. Because if you deep dive right away and you go towards the hard stuff, it could be very overwhelming and it shakes you to your core.
Yeah,
'Cause I started that way. And I
me
should have,
too.
like, why? Why did I pressure myself to start that way? But it just came to me.
Yeah,
So I couldn't shut the door anymore. I just had to, okay, go down the rabbit hole and, like, good
yeah.
luck, sugar cup, because it was there. But you can't
Oh,
just, like, okay, no, control L delete, it's done. No, I just deep dive and that was it. And it was intense. Like, I literally remember sitting on my couch and I was shaking because I couldn't believe what I was reading. I'm like, okay, so my whole life, this was a lie. Like what you learned at school and what, like, the people that you trust as a kid at school, I mean, or daycare, whatever. You're like, okay, well, but you can't blame them because as well,
yeah,
they were brainwashed as well. So
totally.
it's really a huge, huge leap when you do that. So I totally agree with you that it's great that you put out that kind of show to just, like, whew, take a breather, and for people like the new subscribers to our shows, to our
Mhm.
channel, get that introduction, which is, like, lovely to have. And I really appreciated how you said, living life with awareness
Yeah.
and marrying, like, karma with the way that you live. Like, I didn't think about that, and that's so good. And you also specified that you're a very curious person.
Mhm.
So, how do you balance being curious and open minded and being discerning at the same time? How do you marry all of that together?
Such a good point. Such a good point.
Because it's difficult. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. And you know what? Life is difficult. It's a lot of trial and error, I think. I've had my butt burned a lot of
Yeah,
times. Yeah, by
exactly. Right.
making mistakes, and
Mhm.
um I would say that, through many years now of particularly my hairdressing career.
Mhm.
I went into hairdressing because I ultimately wanted to be, okay, this is a long answer. I'm sorry. I ultimately wanted to be, thank you for following me. I wanted to be a mental health nurse and work with on the
Okay.
streets with primarily with women, but with addicts and uh, people less fortunate than
Yeah.
me. I was always really drawn to that world,
Wow.
and then I struggled so much in school that it was like, "Girl, you're never gonna make it through nursing. You better figure your life out." So, mom actually did cards for me and was like, "I'm gonna be a hairstylist," and so I went down that road, and through
Wow.
that, I started having a lot of personal conversations with people,
Mm.
and you start to see that what is on the surface of everybody is so it goes so much deeper than that, right? And so you start to gather all of these perspectives. And so when a lot of these shifts started happening and a lot of people there was a lot of dynamics and a lot of people started waking up, I had to really hold space for a lot of varying opinions and a lot of different judgments coming my way for the choices I was making. And I
Mhm.
really had to stand in neutral and in like heart centered perspective and be, discerning of what I shared with people, how I shared it. And through all of that, I started to see that there is actually space for, you know, a lot of common ground. And that a lot of these reactions that we're having to each other and to the world is really fear based, right? It's really
Mhm.
like I'm supporting families that are coming from both sides. I had a client the other day, older woman that was like, my son is being completely taken to Costa Rica because his wife thinks that Canada's going to hell in a handbasket. And she started going on and on. And I was like, yeah, his wife, I believe, is not wrong. And I also can understand how you feel.
Yeah.
And I started saying some things. And then she was like, could you give me some places to go and find information so that I could understand my son more? Oh, right. So if I could be here to help people find the common ground so that we can establish like trust again and find places to give people that bridge. And
Yeah.
not everybody, there's a lot of bad out there. And so of
Of
course we
course.
have to be discerning and there's a lot of darkness and praise all of you truth warriors that are able to stand in that and fight for that and speak to that. We're
Mhm.
all going to have different paths that we're meant to travel down and different, things that we're meant to stand for. So, long answer to that is I don't even remember the question anymore. I'm sorry. It just came out of me.
No, but it was perfect. The question was, but it's perfect. You
Oh,
said it that I because I wanted to know how do you put your curiosity and
yes.
your open mindedness and being keeping your discerning thoughts up top because we could get lost easily and it like you say you see a lot of people,
Yeah.
so how do you keep that all well balanced? It's complicated,
It is. And you know what?
complicated to
That,
explain as well.
yeah. I mean, ultimately, it's the relation, it comes back to the relationship with self. It comes back to that if you don't have that grounding relationship in yourself where you're continuously doing the work and tuning in, connecting with the land, connecting with your purpose, like that
Mhm.
is the thing that helps you come into discernment and be able to honestly be in curiosity a lot more because we're less attached, we're less in control all the time. I mean, curiosity is the medicine of control, right? It's on the other end of that. So, and when we're faced with so much fear, what's on the other end of that is love, right? So when we come into curiosity, it allows us to be a lot more, discernment is important in it.
Yeah.
Always. It's always going to come in, just like boundaries is important. It's always going to come in. But the
Hmm.
more curious that you are, really, it, 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 you kind of can't go wrong.
Right.
Like
Yeah,
it's, you know,
you're right. Thank you,
it's,
Digi Bean. You're right. I wanted to say complex and not complicated. Complex. It's complex. It's a complex thing to explain. Thank you, Digi. Thank you. See, that's why I needed you here today. That's why you're here today, live with us. Thank you. Okay, so now
oh, could we take a moment, Coco? Can we answer this?
can you still love in a moment of loss?
I'd love to speak to that.
Yes, of course.
Um, I have had the true honor of having a lot of big loss in my life.
Really.
It is something that is what we all go through,
Hmm.
whether it's death or whether it's relationships or, you know, connection with your children, your pets, whatever it is. But I will say, yes, please do
Wow.
love through loss. And I'll share a short personal story on that. My father had ALS, and I cared for him for 2 years, right when I started my hair career 15 years ago. And he passed about 13 years ago. But for the last 3 months that I was caring for him in the real thick of the intense time of it,
Hmm.
I fell in love, and it was the big love of my life, so far.
Yeah.
And we're not together anymore, but I fell in love in that last 3 months, and I was going through the greatest loss and the biggest love at the same time.
Wow.
And it was such a beautiful experience to like have my heart blown open in that way, right? And so I absolutely know and feel that we are such incredible complex beings, complex, right? And that when you allow yourself the journey of going through the full spectrum of that, because you can go deeper into the grief and
Mhm.
deeper into the love when you're allowing them to exist simultaneously, right? And that's what we came here for.
Oof.
So I highly encourage you, if you're able, to
Yeah.
to step into both at
Wow.
any moment. And I think that is part of the it's part of the gift. And lastly, when I was in it at the end, like when my father passed, I remember thinking, we're so adaptable as human beings. Like I just went through that and I can handle anything. And,
Mhm.
you know, and
You
here
just
I am
go through
thinking,
it.
yeah,
It's
here I'm thinking life will never be the same. And,
right.
I've learned all my lessons now. And that wasn't true. But like, I can handle
Yeah.
anything now.
Right? When you go through
Mm.
hardships like that, it's amazing how you realize after that you could go through anything.
Yeah.
Like I totally resonate with what you're saying. I could just think about events that I had to do, you know, to love during a loss, and you could go through everything. And I have to share this because what
Please.
a divine timing is when you were saying that story. Listen, I'm getting goosebumps, and
Oh,
right because I have a window right in the front of me, and there's a huge dragonfly that just poof landed on the window. How amazing!
this is the
Like you're
magic.
talking and I'm looking at the dragonfly just then. I'm like, what are the signs? A
Yeah.
dragonfly. It's cold outside here in Montreal. Like, hello. And there's a dragonfly just chilling in the windows with its wings and stuff saying, hey, what's up, girl?
Oh, thank you for sharing that.
I had
It's
to share it. Like you were saying, you were literally sharing your story, and poof,
Mhm.
it's like a big dragonfly. Here, if I
Wow.
could just turn around my laptop, but that would be a mess. It would, like, the mic would fall, the lights would just that would be a huge mess. So I'm sorry, y'all. I can't share it with you guys, but I'm sharing it with my eyes towards it. It's
Right?
amazing.
And this isn't just me and you. This is everyone here,
Everybody.
right? This is everyone's energy
Oh,
that invites that in. And this is the invitation for us to acknowledge that we are magic. We dance in those realms all the time, right? And when you can really, like I said, step into the potency of those parameters, the depth of grief and love and those big initiatory experiences that we're so gifted to go through in life. That's when the magic really starts to come in. And when you acknowledge it in the way that you just did, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Can we talk about, because we had this conversation. This was
Yes.
a personal conversation. And I said, okay, we have to share this because Krista was just like dropping the mic on me. And I was like, geez,
Oh,
girl, you need to stop talking because we need to share this with everybody. I don't know where to start first. Can we, okay, let's start with this.
okay.
How should I start with this story or the one that we did in the beginning of the week? Oh man. Okay, I'll start with the one we just talked about.
Sure.
And okay, so I'm house hunting for a future dream home. And I was sharing with Kristal, and I'm sharing with everybody that's watching right now because you guys are family, right? I'm like sharing a super personal.
Coco. Yes.
So, and then I was like telling to Kristal, oh my gosh, because she asked me the question, is it that? Is it that your dream home? I'm like, I don't know. We're gonna visit it this weekend. So, but I'm like super nervous. And just come with what you explain with that feeling that I'm
Mhm.
happy. And the you
Mhm.
came into as well this week the difference between anxiety, the
Exciting.
excitement, and fear.
Yeah.
Please share.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, we have these super like ancient nervous system experiences, right? That we've been doing for, our entire existence. So, um, we have these responses in life that we have put these labels on to, keep us in feeling comfortable about how to identify with them. And the label of anxiety and excitement can mean really two opposite things to people. And yet the frequency and the response to them are very, very similar.
Yeah.
And so we get to, again, here we go, right? Walking that line between the two things. And I think that you can really be right in the excitement and in the anxiety and the fear around it. Because what's anxiety, right? Anxiety is the unknown. It is us already existing in the future realms. It's that fear that's based on the unknown, right? It's trying to step into the future based on what you knew from the past, right? So you're digging it up, trying to control it and make you feel more comfortable, right? And so, but there's a whole part of you that's also excited for the unknown. So for us to just allow those processes to exist in the body, um, and to know that it's not the whole of the truth of who you are, or it doesn't mean that something's going to happen, or it doesn't mean that, if you're anxious about it, that this isn't the right one. You could just be excited. Or so this is where, okay, another level to that is where you start to tune in with yourself a little bit, and before you go rush into it, you take a moment and you breathe into that feeling in your body and tune in and ask, like, okay, like, is there anything that I'm needing to know right now? Is there, tune in with where you're feeling that. And does my body have anything to say about this house, right? And when you start to bring that invitation of your deeper knowing into the process of choosing the house, then you will feel like a lot more tuned into it, and like also like you've done your due diligence of really not just like rushing ahead and like taking it because of this, and this.
Yeah.
And then we also talked about, do you have your lists?
Yes.
And
Yes.
you right?
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so it's like, and so you do know. You do know what you want. You have put it out there. It is already in manifestation,
Yeah.
right? And so when you tune in with yourself enough to be able to uh, have that awareness, then you're going to know when that manifestation comes into your reality.
Wow. That is so good. That is so true. Like my mind is spinning. I'm like, oh yeah. I'm taking it all in.
I mean,
That
it's
is.
complex, it's layered,
Oh my gosh.
it's layered. And you know what? Like, and sometimes like life is mysterious, right? Like you said,
Mhm.
you're like, I thought I had it, and then someone put in an offer and yada yada, right? And we didn't get it, and it's like, so that's not the one, it's like,
Yeah.
yeah. And even if you end up in the house and it doesn't, it's not everything, it's not perfect, you're meant to be there for a period of time, you're meant to learn something from it, like
Mhm.
you can't go wrong.
Oh my gosh. Oh wow. Yeah, you can't go wrong.
I mean,
Gee.
even if wrong feels wrong, it's still a part of your path, right?
Literally.
Yeah.
It was there, so you have to go through it and live it. And I want you to come back on how did we get into that conversation? Because
About the
it-
ritual.
yeah, how
Yeah.
did we do that? Where did we hop into that?
Oh, I was commenting on how beautiful your hair was.
Oh, it was yeah, in the beginning of the week because I did my hair. Now it's in a bun because I didn't feel like doing my hair. Yeah, that's what yes, yes. And
Yeah,
oh my
right?
god.
And you were like, "Oh, I started this new thing."
This
And I
was
mean,
all
you do.
backstage. We had a meeting,
Yeah.
we were talking to each other, and yeah, this is all backstage. But yeah, and my gosh, you brought out a topic. You go set the stage, and then I'll follow up. So the ritual.
The ritual. I was thinking about this morning while I was getting ready. I was excited that we were gonna talk about this because I love my morning rituals, right? Um, This has been something, I mean, as you heard, right? I started in the beauty industry when I was 16, just 16. And it's always been something that's fascinated me. And so working in it for so long, you kind of get this feeling. The one part I didn't love about it was how superficial it could be, and I was like, but it's so much deeper than that. I could tell it was deeper.
Mm,
And then it started coming. It was during COVID. Well, I haven't told this story before.
oh,
It was during COVID, where like mom and I spent a lot of time living together, and at that time, just kind of like feeling stunned by what was going on in the world. And I was
yeah.
sitting there at our table, and there was this book on the table with it. Mom has amazing books, and had these old Ukrainian ladies with these tattoos on their faces. And I have Ukrainian in me. And I was like, what is this? And I started reading through it. And I was like, whoa, like this is where, these ancient markings in many cultures that, women wore on their
Or
faces. I was like,
mm,
I didn't know this happened in Ukrainian women. Like I thought this was just, like women from New Zealand or Australia or
yeah,
something
New
that had
Zealand,
this,
but yeah, uh-huh,
right?
yeah,
And all of a sudden, just all these downloads started coming in. Like, why do we decorate ourselves? And all these pieces started coming together. And I was like, I actually am really passionate about this. Where is our beautifying and adorning ourselves really coming from? And in a world where we are so focused on the surface, where we are so focused on like hyper exploitation of beauty,
mhm.
what is the root of that, right? And I've always loved these rituals. So and you get like backlash from people like, oh, you don't need makeup, you're beautiful without it, or you don't need to do that, and yada yada, or guys, or will judge you, or you're just self-centered or whatever,
Mhm.
right? So
Mhm.
ego. And I also have always been fascinated with African women since I was a babe, and African people in
Yeah.
general, but the way that they decorate themselves, the way that it's like they live their life in that honor, right? And yeah, and I was like, that's like what I do, you know? And so this is like, and because Coco was saying, yeah, did my hair and did this thing, yada yada, and I was like, how long did it take you? And she's like, an hour, and I was like, wow, and you're like, oh yeah, girl, it's a ritual, and I'm like, yes, it is.
It's true.
It is. And so for us to begin to honor that, again, you could say, oh, this isn't for anybody else. This is just for me. True. The experience of putting it on is just for you, but it also communicates the essence of you that you would like to share with the world that day,
Oh my
you
God.
know? So sometimes, like today, I was so excited. I had the tunes on. I was having a
Yeah.
dance party, and I
Yeah.
was doing the things,
Yes.
and I have my routines, and I love it. And
Mhm.
yes, I want to decorate myself to share with
Mhm.
you, but I'm also a wild farmer that loves to get dirty, that loves to not shower for days on end, that loves to like play with animals and
Love
just be
it.
disgusting,
Yeah.
like because that's actually probably my favorite version of me. Because when you're on the land and you're communing with the animals like that, they don't care what you look like. They
Mhm.
don't care what you
Mhm.
smell like. They feel your energy. They feel the gratitude for you being there and caring for them, right? It's the whole loop, right? So
Mhm.
we can be all of these parts of ourselves, and the ritual of getting to be each of those people and decorating that person, it's so beautiful and it's ancient.
Exactly. I love how you say decorating. And my question was to
Okay.
Crystal when we were having that conversation.
Mhm.
I was like, it makes sense. I never thought about that. You're right. Because it just came out of me. I was like, it's my ritual. And
Yeah.
I said, okay, because I love taking a step back and watch human behavior, no matter what. I go to the grocery store, I'm at the coffee shop, I just sit back and watch human behavior. I invite family and friends home over, I just sit back and just watch human behavior. So I asked Crystal, like, okay, well, what is your 2 cents on this beauty ritual, the decorating your temple? How do you, how can I say it? What's going to happen because we have social media and the younger generation, it's a shit show. Excuse my language, but
Yeah.
it's superficial. And then now it's even bringing the younger kids. Like you see 10, 11, 12-year-old kids shopping at Sephora, checking out for their skincare, but you're only 11. So how do you see that? You know what I mean? Because what you're saying, it's so true. And you even said like we don't take the time to like understand the history of just like eyeliner. In the
Right.
ancient times, they would use eyeliner, but it was in a different way. It was not
Yeah.
superficial. It was traditional. So I'm like, my gosh, that is so freaking true.
Yeah.
So how can like what's your input on like the impact of social media and on this type of ritual that we are decorating our temple?
Yeah. Oof. I mean, isn't that a whole show in itself?
It is. It is. It is.
To
Oh my
really get into it, and
God.
okay. So again, with the like parameter building, I feel like we really need to step into the disillusionment and like really come to the other edge of ourselves to the point where, oh my gosh, now we don't even know who's real and who's not, to be able to see how extreme and like disconnected this trend can get,
Yeah.
this programming can become.
Mhm.
And so that we know how it feels to go to that extent. And then there will be beings like us and like many who are here to um, lead by example and to
Yeah.
start
Yeah.
to communicate with the world in a way that is digestible and that can catch on, where we just continue to share our truths. And I mean,
Mm.
ultimately, you know, I hope that this will be a movement for me that I can put my time into, where I can, you know, be one of the people that starts to share. Um, you know, I too love to decorate myself in
Mhm.
this way.
Mhm.
And could we get curious together about where the practice of putting on eyeliner comes from? You know, what working with styling or working with the energy of hair, you know,
Sure.
what are the traditions of that? Also, what is your cultural makeup and what are the practices in your culture? Like for me to find that book with these ancient women that are, you know, from you know, not maybe not from my bloodline, but from the lineage of some of my ancestry, that they could have had these,
Yeah, the
something clicked
tattoos,
in
yeah.
me,
Uh-huh.
right? And so that we're not just doing this to be like everybody else, to plug ourselves into the machine to be what loved or have attention or something. Like when we are doing this with intention,
Mm.
not to just get attention, right? So I feel like for us to just keep talking about it and for us to just keep leading by example, you know, and I had a comment um, from a dear client who I absolutely adore. You know, she saw my poster on Beyond Mystic and she was like,
Mhm.
oh, you got all that makeup on. That's not
Mhm.
you, you know, and I was like,
Mhm.
actually, it really is a part of me, and it is
Yeah.
actually something I loved decorating myself that day. I loved decorating mom, who looks so beautiful, you
Yeah.
know? And for me, I've been decorating my mother since I was a wee one, you know? Like, when I went to makeup school, she was my greatest, you know, muse,
News.
you know? And so for us to be at the conference together and for me to be, like, you know, adorning her face that day, that's ritual,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
so you're seeing it through the lens of the programming. That's fair. But I'm happy to educate you. And thank you for asking me. Thank you for being honest. You know, I don't
Wow.
I don't know
Oh
again
my
if that
God.
answered the question.
No, you
I
did.
am my mother's daughter, you know?
You did. No, you totally did. Yeah. And because it's hard to, but no, it's not hard. Well, it's just me that I'm like always in the, okay, where's my daughter going to, how she's going to grow into that dimension. You know what I mean? Because I've
Mhm.
always been pretty much an outcast when I was young, but I loved it. And I was, I didn't, well, my mom would say that I like made her sweat a lot, I guess. I don't know, but I was I was terrorized from my parents. I couldn't go out when I was young. It was very traditional Asian, like you stay with the family, wherever we go, you go. And I was like, damn. But I left home at 18. The moment I was 18, I was out the door. So I'm trying to like navigate with all of the toolbox that I've gained with time. And I'm like, okay, well, what's going to happen with my child's generation when you see social media and you opening that door for me of like, okay, well, that's your ritual, that's decorating. I'm like, you're so freaking right. That is,
Yeah.
it's like
Right?
obvious when you think about it now. I'm like, my gosh, but that is so obvious when
Yes.
you respect the ritual, you know what I mean? And not like flaunted like people do on social media and like in a negative energy kind of way. Like you're talking about working with the energy of hair. And I'm like, yeah, that's great information.
Mhm.
Thank you
Mhm.
for sharing that. Thank
Oh,
you.
Thank you for asking. I mean, this is one of the things I'm the most passionate about in life, right? Like it's this is and to again be able to be that wise mother that is like, I see that, what we don't understand is that we're looking for ritual, you know, um, we're lacking in it in our culture. And I mean, like you can say, I so understand, right, what you're saying with your mom, and yet you were really brought into the rituals of your culture, right? She's just
Mhm.
sharing what she learned in the rituals of her culture,
Yeah.
right? And we are so disconnected from in our Western culture from
Yeah.
a lot of ritual,
Yeah.
right? And
Yes.
so and so we see these people and we're like, oh, is that my ritual? Like,
Yeah.
do I need to do that? Am I going to feel more whole this way? Like we're really looking for something to bring us back into ourselves, right?
Oh my
And
gosh, that is so well said. And oh my gosh, the dots are connecting. Because I'm always saying to myself, oh, I can't believe that now I'm in my mid 40s. I'm 43, and now I'm connecting the dots of what I've learned when I was young and seeing
mm,
the ritual, the tradition of my family, and now I'm bringing it now in my 40s. So I spent
mhm,
all of that time just growing and following the the system, and then now I'm like, oh my gosh, now I get it. What my Asian grandparents would say, no, you have to do this, not because, but they would never say why, because I was always asking why. But it's
yeah,
part of the tradition. It's part of the tradition. I'm like, yeah, but I don't get it. And now I get it.
yeah.
Isn't it crazy? Like, I love it when those dots connect. I'm like, okay, I can. Like, I even go and visit my grandparents at the cemetery, and I'm like, I give them, I praise them, and I say, like, I
Oh,
say thank you because now the dots are connecting. And I'm
yeah.
like, sorry it took all of this time. Y'all passed over, y'all crossed over, but thank you because I guess
Well done.
I love it. You know what I mean? Like the dots are finally connecting. And that helps so much. And it helps in my spiritual journey. I'm like, okay. And that's where I take like when I have family and friends, like, okay, that doesn't stress you out. I'm like, no, because this is what I appreciate of taking the step back and trying to understand human behavior and
Mhm.
speaking to like-minded people like you or people that are watching us right now. It just fills my cup so much. I want to thank you so much, Kristal, to take this time out of your day to spend with us. And I want to thank the audience members for
Thank
like tuning
you.
in every Friday. You guys are freaking amazing.
Yeah.
Like, hello, like these people are amazing. I want to thank you so much. I don't want to take too much time because right after, well, right now,
Yeah, we gotta get yeah, we got
it's a
Mama
Shala
and
and
Tony are on. Yeah.
so you guys leave here, go watch Penny and Nashala. And this weekend as well, we have our well, no, at 3 o'clock, it's the new Astro with Meg for her September prediction. And Saturday, you have the Psychic Tarot Weekly Show with Ashala.
My
Sunday,
beautifully decorated mother. Look at her,
right?
right?
Look at her with her fabulous curly hair,
Yeah.
curling queen. And we have again on Sunday the Beyond Astro show with Meg. And don't forget the Wacky Woo show Sunday at 8 with Dick Algeyer and Jean
Mm,
Claude. And we have now the tarot reading sessions with Kristal. You could book
mm.
her right at our consultation page, the Beyond Mystic consultation page. And we have a promo code Beyond Mystic to get 10% off. So you could book an amazing tarot reading. We didn't have time. I wanted Kristal to pull cards, but we'll do that
Next
on
time.
another show next
Yeah,
time.
maybe you'll come on my show.
Oh, anytime, girl.
Yeah.
Anytime, whatever topic you want to cover, I am all for it. Thank you guys so much.
Thank
Like
you,
you said, John,
everyone. Thank you.
gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. Thank
Yeah.
you guys so much for tuning in. We'll see you again next week. Have a fabulous weekend. Sending you all love and light. Take care. Bisous, bisous.
Mm.
Bye.